don't go up to someone, you're like, hey, I'm gay. Are you gay? Do you want to date
exactly.
and be gay? And it's like,
and
yeah.
be gay.
Hey, Harmony.
Hey, Leilani.
I have thoughts. Do you have thoughts?
I most certainly have thoughts. And guess what? Together,
we have thoughts.
Oh my
Here
god.
on We Have Thoughts, we'll be sharing our reviews on theatre shows in Brisbane.
Yeah, we'll be taking you across the city, theatre to theatre, genre to genre, doing it all. And each week we're going to have a special little guest. And today our guest is...
Ella Cranny.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. Today our episode is focusing on Freshblood Festival.
Woo.
That's for sure. Last night, us three went and saw Sugar Mountain, written and directed by Josh Price, and Wait For It, written and directed by Joel Burgess.
Mr. Burger.
All right, let's get started. Shall we?
What was it about, Harmony?
Yeah,
So
tell
Sugar
us.
Mountain we saw first at 7 p.m. It's about these. So there's 4 characters. There's a cold, strong businesswoman,
Independent woman.
independent lady,
Of which I cannot remember her character
I can't.
name.
I
Yeah,
can't remember.
I
her
Played
name.
by Rebecca. though.
Rebecca.
I should have written it down.
Me
I
too.
know.
Very unprofessional of me.
We have some notes here.
And an old uni friend named Oliver, and their sort of timeline takes place in an airport.
Mhm.
And there's another couple, which I say couple lightly, I mean like 2 people.
Pair.
Yep.
Yeah, Nick and James, who are high school students.
Yes.
And basically, the high school students learn that through like a kind of adventure that they have on the day, kind of ditching class and, you know, getting to know each other. They're not friends prior.
Yeah.
They just like
Their
kind of
friendship
become
develops
friends.
here.
Yeah. They learn that, you know, happiness isn't just about...
Both stories kind of share the same summary in that one is focusing on business and money and the other is focusing on happiness and doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
In both of these stories,
Yeah,
but
so-
showing it at different ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
say.
So like the businesswoman is like, I've really built up my business and that's what makes me happy. And
And I do business and I do TED
Business,
Talks and I'm
business.
I'm a
independent
business lady.
woman.
and Josh, who played Oliver, is like, I'm a struggling actor and I'm happy with my life, even though I'm not
yeah.
successful.
Therefore, I'm more successful than you because I'm happy.
Yeah.
Money
Yeah.
doesn't equal success.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the other side of it is like we have climbed our way to success. We've worked for what
Yeah.
we've gotten. And the other characters in the pair do not see it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's start reviewing it. Let's go
Yeah,
from the
let's-
beginning.
Let's go into it.
My first opinion was that monologue at the beginning, as much as it was done well, it was very long for a start
It's
of a
quite
show.
long. I think
Well,
that
I thought.
my personal issue with it was that she starts with a TED talk basically explaining her rise to the top.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a really cool, interesting way to introduce a character, to
Yeah.
give like a direct address to the audience. But halfway through, it starts becoming very funny, and then the audience started laughing, and I was like
Yeah.
missing it because I was taking it so seriously.
I was unsure whether to laugh.
We
whether
thought we
to
were in a
laugh
TED
sometimes.
talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that's a bit of a director issue there, because it's like, is she supposed to be leaning into this humor like a bit of a stand-up act, or
Yep.
is this very serious and dry, and that's what makes it funny?
Yeah, for sure.
I would say the TED talk went on for like 7 minutes, would you say? Like it was
was a
quite long.
chunk.
I reckon
Damn.
that could have been cut down to like 2 minutes, like, and that would have been enough.
Because
Yeah.
3 minutes.
Yeah, because we got who she was,
Yeah.
and as much as it was setting us up to know her story and everything, we heard the same thing throughout that entire
Yeah.
relationship that she said in the TED talk.
And then, you know, for the rest of their scenes together, a lot of her dialogue is, I'm a strong woman. I'm a strong woman of color. I'm an independent woman. I don't have a family. Like,
Yes.
a lot of the themes are so clear. They're almost opaque.
Yeah. It was very, which, I mean, this could go either way with how you want to watch a performance, if that makes sense. Yeah. But like, it was very telling, not showing. Like, you know how there's the show, don't tell. I felt like they were telling a lot of the story rather than showing it.
And same with Josh's first phone call.
Yeah.
But that was also the only slither of acting of his story that we
Yeah.
really saw was
I
that
thought it
phone
was-
call when he turned down.
The dialogue was quite funny. I
Yeah.
was like,
Oh, hilarious.
relatable, hilarious.
Oh, that's what I wrote down. Relatable as fuck. I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the Brisbane little hints that they put in there, everyone ate that
Ate that
up.
up.
Yeah.
There was a Mount Cootha joke.
Yeah. So good.
The younger couple, they had first started like talking. They were both male, but it wasn't a queer story, but they had queer representation, but they did it very
Yes.
well.
Yeah, it was really low key. It was, I think it
Yes.
was like pretty.
They
I think
made
it was
it-
actually a better representation of how queer relationships
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
progress
because they made it normal, which is what it should be.
Yeah, you
in
don't
a
go up
way.
to someone and you're like, "Hey, I'm gay. Are you gay? Do you want to
Yeah,
date and
exactly.
be gay?" And it's like,
and
Yeah.
be gay.
you know what I mean?
Be gay.
Be gay. Let's be gay together.
But yeah, they made a joke. They were like, "Oh, should we like hang out later? Like you choose a time and a place." And it was like,
So
"Oh,
wholesome.
we can go to Mount Cootha."
The
And the
audience,
audience
cracked
loved
up.
it.
Yeah.
That was very
Mm.
funny. And so they mentioned the Eka.
Yeah.
Like a fair.
Little
Yeah.
cheeky little Echo reference.
Yeah.
One of my other notes was that Alistair, who was a first year acting
Who
student
played
at
Nick.
QT, he played
Yeah.
Nick.
He was first year.
Yeah, first year.
Oh, I
Shut
did
up.
not know that.
Nah, he's actually so
I
good.
thought his
He-
acting was brilliant.
So great.
When
Alistair, if you're listening to this,
Yes.
you've got 3 fans.
yeah, in this room right
and
now.
Leilani's single.
I am.
Jesus. But yeah, no, I think he did a very good job at his characterization,
Yeah.
and his character in particular was very
Strong.
strong,
Very strong.
relatable. We all know a character like that in real life, I think. And also fed off the audience's energy incredibly well.
Yeah.
As Caroline Himes says, the electric
really
air.
felt that
Yeah.
electric
Felt
air.
that electric air. Yes, but yeah, so the audience would laugh at things and he would give enough room, like he would wait until the audience would stop laughing.
It was a very good sweet
but
spot.
keep acting.
without
Yeah,
it
it was
being
I think
great.
boring.
his delivery of everything was so
That's what I was gonna
authentic
say.
and felt really real as well. Like just for a bit of context on his character, he's an year 11 student who's trying to go for school captain. He's doing 13
Yeah.
extracurriculars.
Yeah.
He's doing absolutely
He has no
everything.
free time for himself.
Absolutely
He
no free
works,
time.
works,
He
works.
doesn't do anything for fun because he's about success. He is the
Yep.
success man in that relationship. And James, played by JJ, who I think is a first year drama
I think
student.
so. Yeah.
About music, just wants to be happy, doesn't want to like I shouldn't have to work for success. I shouldn't have to work for my entire life to be happy.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
like a really interesting concept that I think we've all like thought a lot about. And they're the Wonderwall moment, hilarious.
Yes, it was giving. I want to push you around from.
Oh my god, so many
Yeah.
Barbie influences as well. Like when they
Yeah.
were talking about in the beginning, like a lot about female sacrifice and stuff like that. I was like,
Yeah.
this feels like Barbie.
Yeah.
This feels like-
Yeah,
One thing that I really wanted to talk about, going into it, I was like, Sugar Mountain, what the fuck has this got to do with anything? Like the title, when's this going to come into
Yes.
play? And then it came into play by, it was a song
It was
that
a
the
song.
Neil
school
Young.
kids listened to.
I really
And
like that.
I really like that. So the characters, like the 2 high school characters, argued over the meaning of the song and interpreted it in different ways. And then that was the overall meaning of the play as well.
Just to clarify, do they both almost live by the meaning of how they see the play?
kind of. Yeah,
Yes.
But I think by the end,
How they see
like
the
they
song.
both appreciate each other's individual meaning and
they
like
both
yeah,
taught
you
each
can see it.
other something.
Mm,
Speaking of,
love
I feel
that.
like the audience was a lot more invested in that relationship than
Absolutely.
they were
Mhm.
with businesswoman
And
and Oliver.
I think that the audience may have been way more invested if they cut the airport characters, the airport pair,
Yeah.
and just solely focused on
yeah,
the high school kids. Although, on the other hand of that, I do see the fact that they were trying to show that, you don't really understand anything about life, even when you're older and
Yeah.
out of school. Like
even
you
when
still,
you are incredibly successful.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do see how that
Always
was good.
learning.
However, I felt that their target audience was students, like
Yeah.
that were like 20-year-olds probably, that have been through that high school experience and that are still kind of close to that experience, like haven't had too much.
It would be really
life
interesting because obviously we're all around the age of 20 and we were able to relate to those younger characters a lot more than the second older couple. But I wonder if there was someone closer to the age that they were trying to represent and how they actually were able to interpret to that.
Yeah,
because I didn't really think of that because I was like, to be honest, could have cut those that second pair.
Just branching off for a moment, I just want to really, really quickly talk about how right in the middle of the performance, there was a really heated, intense socio-political debate about like women and like white privilege. And that felt a bit shoehorny to me personally.
That comes back to the show don't tell kind of thing.
Yes.
It was, and especially because like Josh was supposed to just be writing and directing,
but ended up acting in
but ended up acting because the person who played Oliver had to pull out for health issues, and Oliver's supposed to be a white guy. Yeah. So this talking about between a woman of color, successful woman of color, and a white guy who's like, it's not cool to be a white guy anymore, and it's like, Josh, you're brown and you're from South Africa. This is hilarious.
When I was listening to that as an audience member, I was like, what the fuck?
I got really
I didn't know
confused
that
as well.
Josh wasn't supposed to initially be in it.
Yeah.
So I was like, what is
why
going
did
I was like, why did he write that? But I completely get that now.
But I think even like away from that, I was like, it could be interesting for him to be like, it's not cool to be a white guy anymore, and you still like see the disparity of like the privilege that a man has over like what women have. But I felt like it was so non-subtextual.
I think Oliver, his only kind of role in that was to aid in the businesswoman's story.
Yeah,
he didn't really have
much growth.
He didn't.
I just want to spend a moment talking about staging and lighting as well.
Yeah, cool.
First of all, staging wise, I'm not sure if this was a directorial choice and done on purpose for the meaning. However, I noticed with the school kids from the very first scene where the school kids were on stage, that it was a split stage.
Yeah.
And the going for school captain character really working towards success was on one side. They had bright coloured lights. The opposite side, dark coloured lighting, doesn't really know it, moody, grungy, angsty, doesn't really know what she wants to do with her life.
Yeah, very much like Freaky Friday vibes in a weird way. It was like...
I don't know. Yeah, and then as they taught each other things, the more they were in the center of the stage, and the last scene that they were together, they were right in the middle of the stage, and I think
with those sunset colors on the back.
Yeah, so I was like the contrast between the beginning and the end with the staging and the lighting, I loved. Perfect. Also with the lighting, there were times where, in the TED Talk and stuff like that, where I couldn't see the face of Rebecca, who played the businesswoman.
Finding a hard time, having a hard time finding her light, and I think that also they just kind of weren't bright enough.
There was a moment where Josh was at the front and he had a spotlight, and Rebecca was behind him, like pacing and talking, but she was in this shadow because the spotlight was on Josh, and I thought it might have been like they weren't actually together and they were supposed to be separate, and that's how they were showing it. And then she like came and sat with him, and I was like, oh, she was just in the dark. Josh didn't really have a reason for actually being in the airport, and I think they were kind of grabbing at straws to give him a reason to be there.
He could have, or like outside the TED Talk, and they could have stayed.
It was very random.
I also wrote at one point, I said, what the fuck is Oliver doing at the airport?
Yes.
And then like a scene later, it was like, he said, I'm people watching, and I just wrote, weird guy.
Yeah. So odd, yeah.
Weird. And I think there was a little bit of a loophole in a way, because he kind of was just like there, just chilling out, and then she was like, I'm on a mission, I need to catch this flight, and it keeps getting delayed, and I'm in a rush, I'm so flustered. And then he would be like, oh, come with me, we'll go get a drink. And she had no reason to go with him, and she kept on being like, I don't want you here, but then would continue to go with him, or he would continue to follow her.
Yeah.
It was like she was too kind to be a cold-hearted bitch businesswoman. So even when she was like shouting at the flight attendant, being like, I can't believe this is outrageous, I'm never flying with this airline again, she was still like, I'm never flying with this airline again.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? He's like telling her to calm down and be like, don't harass this woman.
Someone said something after that I think was like pretty good, was that she was supposed to be very intimidating.
Yeah.
And Josh was acted like he was very intimidated, but it was not delivering as
Yeah, Harrison mentioned it felt like a manufactured kind of intimidation.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I also think because she's supposed to be this like stone cold businesswoman, intimidating, the projection, the vocal work needed to be stronger. I think I thought her acting was great, but I think vocally it needed to be stronger because I feel like a large way you can be intimidated by someone is through their tone of voice. So I think that would have been a great way to make that characterization stronger.
What I love though, I love the little motif at the end when they were both sat in front, like Josh and Rebecca were at the front of the stage and the younger couple behind, and it's kind of it was reflecting that people go through the same sort of like experience at
different
any
stages
time
of
of
life.
But I think that was the only time where both stories were important.
Yeah, it felt like a proper thing.
I think that's interesting because I necessarily didn't really like that staging. Because, I mean, I at first, because there wasn't at one point where they were on stage at the same time.
Yeah.
It was very like realism, we're in our own world.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they were on stage together.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, what the fuck? Why is this changing last minute? I get maybe like the meaning was trying to be conveyed.
Yeah,
they're going through the
motif
same
was
thing, but I don't know. I feel like the ending could have been slightly different. I don't know.
Well, should we move on to
The next show?
I just wanted to add one last note.
Yeah, go on.
This is mostly for Alistair, if he listens. I just wanted to say that I did write down a note for the opening scene, and I said, Michael J. Fox energy.
See,
The dancing. His dancing was hilarious.
I was like, that is Marty McFly.
Marty McFly.
he danced so satisfying in a way. It was very. I've never seen someone move like that.
I've never seen someone thrust their hips like that before.
No, it was so good.
Should we give it a rating?
Yeah.
Cheeky little out of 5 stars?
Oh, 5. Okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
Think about it.
Harmony,
Everyone?
you go first.
3.8 stars.
Oh,
Out of
wow.
5.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Like
That's 3.5.
3.5.
Ooh, close.
Oh, it's funny that you say that. I was going to say 3.7.
Oh,
Oh
my God.
geez.
All right. We'll work out the average after, slap it on the video. Moving on.
Well, because you had a little something that you haven't actually shared with us yet, is that you were able to bring
Please say what you have to say, Leilani.
I was trying. You made them relate. And the second one we watched was a clowning performance. It was very different.
Yes.
So Harmony's been able to make these two
But I want
work.
to save that to the end.
Yeah,
I
save
want to save that
that.
little tidbit to the end.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know
But
that.
I do have a
thought
way to
they-
link them. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
So, what was Wait For It, guys?
Wait for it.
Yeah, go on, Harmony.
Is a clowning show with 3 clowns, Fantasia, Cheesy, and Ham. And Broom. Sorry. Broom is also there. Broom is a literal broom.
With sunglasses.
loved that so much.
And the gist of the show is the clowns arrive because they've been told a show's going to be on.
Yeah.
And we've also been told that a show is going to
Yeah.
be on. And so we're waiting for it.
We're all waiting.
Yeah,
Together.
that's pretty much it.
And I guess when it starts, Cheesy, but played by Sam,
Sam Connolly.
comes on stage and he's trying to take a seat next to Broom, but can't because Broom cannot speak because it is a piece of stick.
With
Yes.
sunnies on.
Sunny's on.
Absolutely.
So it's this whole dilemma of can I sit, can I not sit?
And
Let's
then there's
wait
a bit
for
of
a show.
sexual tension between Cheesy and the Broom.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
it was actually so funny. I wrote down because like I think that Wait For It, while it's a clowning show, and also I should preface, Leilani and I have clowning experience.
Did we meet in clowning?
I think we
that's-
might have.
Yeah, we met in a clowning class, believe it or
Yes.
not. Red
And-
nose and everything.
Red nose and all.
Red nose is on.
You're
honk,
speaking
honk.
with Courage and Nutella, respectively.
Their clowning names.
yeah. By the end of this, Ella's going to have her own.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I like you guys have clowning experience, but I have like little to none. I've done a little, like in one subject, I forget which one, I did a little bit of clowning, but like that's about it. I did some in high school as well, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I know that there are like rules to clowning in the world of clowning.
Like kind of hectic rules.
Yeah,
they're
they're strict.
fucked. It's like
They're like, do
nothing-
not put your fucking nose on in front of anyone else.
anyone.
Okay,
That
is
is
a
like-
secret
it is a
ritual for
law.
you alone.
Yeah.
That is jail time
Yeah.
if someone
You
sees
could
you
get
put
your
nose
clowning
on.
license revoked.
Yeah.
Also, this is a fun fact. When you decide to become a clown, right, and each clown paints their face in a different way. Like it's your own unique look.
Each
the
clown's
same way
very
that, like,
different.
a drag
Yeah,
queen
it's
has their
supposed to be that way.
individual
Yeah.
beat, right? You paint that face on an egg,
What?
on a literal
The
egg, and it
fuck?
gets submitted to the clown museum.
Shut
I'm not even joking. You can fact check that
Bruh.
right now. That's how you officially submit your clown face so that
On
no one
an
else can do
egg?
your clown face. You paint it on an egg, and it's funny because you're a fucking clown. Of
Yeah.
course you paint it on a
Did
fucking
dance class paint all their eggs for that DP?
Oh my God, they
That's
should have. The thing is about clowning is like nothing, like nothing makes sense. Nothing
No.
makes sense at all.
No.
And
That's so funny.
also, which is what makes it entertaining.
Mm.
And I feel like a lot of it is like their emotions are so dramatized. Whatever their emotions are, so dramatized. And like nothing's really real. Like they have weird ass problems.
This is so funny. As someone who did clowning, I'm going to explain all of that.
Yes,
but
please
continue.
do. Please do. I don't really know any real clowns. Maybe isn't David McGarity a clown, our tutor?
Oh,
He
Daniel
was a little bit.
No,
Fuck's Daniel.
Yeah, but
Dan.
I do know-
Dan.
Dan Goff?
Yes, I do not know where.
Oh yeah, he does
He's a
bit.
clown.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
goes to hospitals.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I do know that Mr. Bean is a type of clown.
Absolutely.
And when we were watching this clowning performance last night, I did see aspects of Mr. Beaning, very slapstick comedy, and I was like,
Three
that
Stooges,
must be
baby.
a
They're all
positive, even though I don't
clowns.
know much about clowning. That must be a positive, and
I
I am
can't
entertained.
Yeah, I can't remember very many clowning rules. I remember rule of 3 was shoved down our throat.
Yeah.
We talk about corpsing, which is when you
fuck?
break and you laugh during a scene. You're not
yeah.
supposed to do that.
Ooh.
Writing the laughter,
Writing
like
the
don't kill the laughter. You have to let it play out.
Yeah.
But one of the main things about clowning is that it is to create a sense of like childlike wonder. That's why when they have reactions, it's like they try
It's like the
avenues
seeing
that
it,
things that don't make sense.
seeing it for the first time.
Seeing it for the
Fresh
first
eyes.
time, experiencing it for the first time. Everything is like life or death, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
nothing's ever sad. Like realistically, like
I mean, there are
Yes.
sad clowns, right?
there are,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
they're not sad about things that would make a normal person
A normal
sad.
person sad. Yeah.
They're sad because they spilled their milk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like-
you know?
Yeah. I have two big things.
Okay.
Go on.
First of all, it was a play on Waiting for Godot, I reckon. 'Cause,
That's definitely an
Really?
interpretation.
yeah. So pretty much Waiting for Godot is an absurdist play that is they are waiting for nothing really in the end. And
Very many
they
interpretations.
say that they're
of
waiting
it.
for God, and then there's this theory that it's like all religious and stuff because of God, Godot, whatever.
Fun fact, Waiting for Godot, he named it that, Beckett named it that, after a prostitute that he was a big fan of.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh.
He
You
was
with the
married
fun
as well.
facts.
Like, yeah, sorry, I got all the fun facts. Anyway, sorry,
Yeah.
continue.
Just on our research.
But yeah, I did see aspects of Waiting for Godot. I've never seen Waiting for Godot as a real
full-
play. I've seen it
yeah.
as like uni play.
Yeah.
But yeah, because they're just kind of sitting there
Yeah.
waiting for
Waiting.
nothing,
Waiting for the show to start.
and shit, they just
It
do shit.
it
Wow.
still never comes.
It never
'Cause
comes.
It never comes.
Because
They have to
we
do
were
it
the show
themselves.
and we weren't doing
Yeah.
anything.
They have to decide to make the show themselves.
It was
Yeah.
very good. It started and ended the exact same.
Yes.
Joel, the director,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yep,
And Ryder.
and Ryder, just a whole smorgasbord of great.
We love you, Joel.
We love Joel. Yeah, first he started as like a janitor sweeping up all this confetti
Like
on the
a
stage.
cinema.
Yeah.
career.
And then at the very end, like well, obviously he walks off and then comes back on at the very end, starts sweeping up all the confetti that was like shot out of the cannons.
And I was
for
like,
the last
oh
scene.
my God, it's the same thing.
I love a thing.
I whispered to Leilani, I was like, oh my God, he's cleaning up the confetti. That's how it started.
That's like at the
it's
start.
a circle.
So
I loved
good.
it. I loved it.
Well, my first note
Get into
was,
it,
you know,
Leilani.
that Tibid and Timber
Yeah.
joke?
Yeah.
I think, but that the first time, hilarious.
Yeah.
Second time, funny. Third time, I didn't get it.
That's funny because it was the opposite for me. First time I was like, what? And then the second time I was like, that's kind of funny. And then the third time I was like, okay.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a
the
bit.
opposite.
Yeah, that is funny. See, I kind of was like, I was like, what the fuck? But then I was like, I guess clowning makes you say what the fuck, so
Yeah.
therefore
So
it's funny.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Literally.
What was I gonna say?
Oh, I thought it was so funny when Cheesy, which is Sam, he would be doing his cheesy voice, which was very high up, and then he would just like break and go into this very deep voice, and it was just
this, and then oh my God, it's cheesy, and I literally
it was just so out of pocket.
yeah,
but so
that was
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah.
There were some really silly, hilarious moments which I literally was like cracking up in
Yeah.
the audience. Like there was no times where I was like, this is so awful. Like I genuinely was like, I'm confused at a lot of times, but
Yeah.
that's clowning. It confuses
That's
you.
clowning,
It
babe.
literally confuses you. Their world is like weird.
Yeah.
That is the whole thing. There was a lot of improvised moments, I
Oh,
reckon, that I
absolutely.
could
Yeah.
see.
The
And I-
burp.
Yeah, the burp. Cheesy made this massive burp at one point, but I loved that. And as a drama student, I loved being able to pick up on the fact that it was improv.
Yeah.
I know some
Yeah.
people might hate that because it like kind of takes them out of it, but I loved being able to see when they were improving. Yep, and I also loved the audience interaction. They brought up 2 audience members onto stage.
Yeah, for the
Yes.
party PD,
For the
baby.
party, for the
There was,
party.
there was a Fantasia came around at the start. So before they explain fucking anything, she goes around and she's holding a piece of paper that says "dead cat," and she goes, "My cat died," and we're like, "What the fuck? Is this gonna mean anything
Yeah.
at any point?"
Someone goes, "Can I pat it?"
That was me. I said that.
Yeah.
And then later on, they reveal they're the party PD, and they're like, "Party Pooper Pete is going around pooping parties by telling everybody that his cat died."
And we're like, "Oh my God.
that was
She
Party
just
Pooper
gave it
Pete.
to us.
That bitch was showing me a dead cat.
Literally.
It's crazy.
During that, what I found was like so funny. They were like, "It might be illegal, but we have to do the parent dance," and I was like,
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Or-
So goofy.
Or when another moment I loved is when Cheesy said, "I love you" to the broom. I was like, "Fuck! Did I just say that?"
Yeah,
Like, it's
or
a literal broom.
I had a note that it was like right as it started to get really awkward, and I was like, I'm getting a bit uncomfortable. I'm getting a bit tired of this.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, Cheesy's like, "I love you." Oh my God, I shouldn't have said that. That's so awkward. And I was like, that's funny.
Funny
That's
as
really
fuck.
funny.
But their physicality, I thought the Fantasia, which is the girl who the girl clown, I loved her physicality. I think she was a great clown in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they're all new to clowning, the actors.
Yeah,
I think so.
for sure.
Which was interesting to watch,
Yeah.
which level they were all at as well. I think that the Russian, Italian, French clown, I don't know what accent that was, but also
Ham.
I can't ham. The characters were Ham, Cheesy, and Fantasia, which I thought was funny, especially because like Ham and Cheese, like it's cheesy and you're like hamming it up with like comedy. I was like, that's kind of funny.
it's
and then
and
Fantasia was just
Fantasia
there
was
for a
just
good
random
time.
as fuck.
She was a
Yeah, physicality was really funny and well done. I think vocal work was really well done. The lighting was simple yet effective.
Yeah, and I didn't expect there to be much differentiation in the lighting, but when they
Yeah.
did bring up the audience members and they decided we have to put on a show because these people are here for a show and so are we. We have to do it ourselves. The lighting did change and then it became more of a spectacle, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's so cool that like
Yeah.
the world around the clowns is like changing to match their energy,
For
Yeah.
sure.
which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to take us through your theory? And
My
then we can
theory,
wrap
Yes,
it
the
up?
yeah.
linking of the two shows.
So the main themes of Sugar Mountain, being like you can't chase happiness by just having success and stuff like that, and being happy and stuff like that. The reason that I think that they're kind of about the same thing is because Ham says towards the end of Wait For It, he says, existence is but a blip. I am just happy to say hello and goodbye and I'm gone. And I thought that was really beautiful. And then I was like,
wait a second.
it's kind of the same thing because they're like, in the same way that one of the arguments in Sugar Mountain is like, you can't just sit around and expect to be happy. You have to achieve things as well to be happy.
Oh, I love that.
In the same way, it's like you can't sit around and wait for the show to start. You can't wait for your existence to have meaning. You have to do it. You have to get up and be part of it.
Harmony, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Harmony.
Clutch.
Great.
And I wrote down a note for Wait For It that said, unexpectedly and yet unsurprisingly hilarious.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I think I went into both shows with zero expectation. I just say what to think.
Same.
And it was so interesting because right at the end when there was a countdown the whole time. Wait for it. They were like 17 minutes remaining.
Yeah.
And then by the end it was like 5 seconds and they were like, oh my God, we don't know what's going to happen. Fantasia's like, we might turn into a broom. Cheesy's like, we might blow up. And Ham goes, maybe there'll be cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to cry.
I know.
This is
Goosebumps.
beautiful.
That was very
very cute.
It was so great. And I think I found myself a bit more emotionally connected and like more resonated with me in Wait For It because it wasn't overt. Because it was these kind of things.
Subtle
It was
subtext.
in the same way that clowning is about like childlike wonder.
Yeah.
It was like this childlike experience of thinking about yourself in the world.
It knew what it was and it wasn't trying to be anything else.
Yeah.
Which I think was good.
Yeah. It was very well done, I think, even though it was like amateur play. Clowning is so hard to do. So props
difficult,
to them.
and like they did it so well for a show that didn't have much rehearsal time.
Yeah. Fully.
Should we give it a little rating?
Yes, we
yes,
should give it a
I
rating.
forgot.
Absolutely.
Okay. Out of 5?
Out of 5 stars. 5 clown noses.
5
Okay.
clown noses. Beautiful.
I think I'll get 3.9.
Okay.
Room for improvement. I just don't know where because I don't think I have the clowning brain to critique.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to give it 4.2.
Oh, we're doing points.
Lol, and
I did before. We all fucking did
I know,
before.
but this is getting like
I'm always in the middle as well. So I'm going to give it a 4.1.
oh,
so close.
Or if I was tossing up between 4 or 4.1, I'm going to give it the extra point.
4.1, yeah, because I could really read into it. Honestly, it's probably me just reading into it.
okay. Well, thank you everyone so much for listening. And thank you so much Sugar Mountain and Wait For It for letting us come and watch your show.
And
we had a
analyze it.
really great time.
And
And
write
big
notes
thanks to
during it.
Ella for being on our
Yes, thank
first
you
ever
for having
episode
me.
of We Have Thoughts.
Yes.
This was so fun. I loved having so many thoughts. And hearing
Tune
your
in next
thoughts.
week when we have more thoughts.
Yes. Also, you can find us at Blatherskite on Instagram.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Bye.